Hey YouTube. So I did a recent video on how much better the infed half wave was in the vertical, but I think that may have just been the elements where I was at, because yesterday I came out and did another activation, but I did it here, the same spot I'm at today, on the beach with the radials in the, well, the tide's out, but the radials in the water. And I was getting the exact, I did about probably 20 again, where I asked people on different bands, 20, 40, 17, 15, if I sounded better on the JPC 12 or the infed half wave. This actually isn't an infed half wave, but, and yesterday, every person I asked said I was the exact same on both antennas. And for me, everybody was the exact same receiving. One person said I was 1 S unit lower on one antenna versus the other. So I guess it just depends on where you set up. The environment kind of affects the antenna. That's why I said unscientific, because after doing that yesterday, I had the same results on both antennas. Now today's a different story. Today I'm running a random wire with a 9-to-1. It's 53 feet up at 33 feet. Well, probably not 33 feet because of how much it's leaning. But today the vertical performed much better. I think out of about 20 people I asked, only 1 or 2 said it was the same on both antennas. The rest said it was much better on the vertical, and everybody I received was at least 2 S units higher, if not 4 or 5 on the vertical. So scratch my unscientific test. But like I was saying, today we did the same test with the random wire. Now this is the second time I've used a random wire. The first time it was a shorter length. I have a spreadsheet I got off the internet where someone has the SWRs listed for all the bands on their test. So I decided to try 53 feet. I think next I'm going to do, I think it's 72 or 73 feet. Right now, this wire is actually folded back quite a bit. You can't see it through the GoPro, but I think I've got 72 feet if I undo all the folding back and stretch it out. So maybe we'll try that next and see. You could definitely notice a noise different when I'd hit the switch and switch between the vertical and the infed half wave. Even just the atmospheric noise got much quieter on the random wire. So I'll show you what we did today. We got here at high tide, maybe a half hour after high tide, and I purposely got here that way I could set up as close to the water as I wanted without worrying about the tide coming in more and swallowing up the antenna. So what we did was, the tide was coming to probably about here when I got here, so I had about 5-6 feet from the antenna. But then the rest of my radials here, I don't know if you can see, it disappears because they were actually out here in the tide, in the ocean. I've got fishing weights tied to them. You can see this one here, the fishing weight's kind of sticking up, but I had 3 radials at one time out into the salt water, which seems to really help. That one's kind of coming out a little bit, and then the other 2 are back off that direction. So this is Estero Bluffs State Park. This is one of my favorite places to set up. I've activated this park 56 times. I think I've got 2,800 QSOs from here. But this is kind of what got me hooked, was coming out here. Just a super nice area. It's 65 right now, light winds, nice and sunny today. The nice thing about this park is you can come out here almost 365 days a year unless it's raining. It's always about 60 degrees, give or take a couple degrees year round. So here's our setup. I brought the beach blanket today. Everything here fits in that backpack. I think I got that backpack, it was either off DX Engineering. I think that one's from DX Engineering. That little bag there was from a Gigaparts backpack. Got the POTA fuel there, aka Monster, aka POTA fuel. Got some water. Got the phone tripod for live streaming. Got the Yaesu FT891. I got the MFJ 939 tuner for the random wire. And then back in the, I don't know if you can see it, but back in the tent's my ICOM ID52 Alpha. We got a 20 amp hour Bieno battery in there we were using today, and I brought a backup 12 amp just in case, but we didn't need it. We got 2 rolls of coax. We got this 50-foot roll here, and then the high-vis orange DX Engineering there. That's a 20-foot roll. And then I'll take you over here. So the JPC 12 just has a ground spike. Oh, here's the other radial right here. See the weight sticking out of the sand. That's just a ground spike that sits in the sand there. This one I bring a piece of PVC that I have cut at an angle so I can hammer it down into the sand, and that's where the transformer is. That's the 9-to-1, and there's a 1-to-1 unun. And then if you come over this way, this is my YMU 10-meter mast, or 33 feet and some change. And it's really hard to guy in the sand, and I don't want to carry huge stakes or corkscrew stakes. So what I do is you don't need no stinking guy wires. We just build up a little thing here with rocks and sand and sticks, and then here's the YMU 10-meter mast going up there. It goes up 33 plus feet, but the way it's been over is probably about 28, 26 feet off the ground there. So no guy wires needed. You just get a pile of rocks when you're on the beach, as long as you got rocks, and and use that to guy your mast. I have also the PVC pipe I have over here. I've also used that, and when I don't have any rocks, hammer that in the sand, and then I've got some bungee cords that I strap the YMU mast to. It tends to lean quite a bit, but it still works pretty well. And then I usually just set the bag up right and attach the transformer to my backpack. Then that beach blanket rolls up nice. The only thing about sitting on the sand is you're not up in the air. You get a lot of sand blowing in your face. I don't know if you can see, but I've got sand everywhere. The first time I came out here and I had sand everywhere, I didn't have this tent. I thought the radio was going to be full of sand, so I took it apart with some canned air and was ready to blow it out. There was not one piece of sand inside the 891, so it sealed up pretty good. So here's our setup today. We for the UTC day, we got 100 and something contacts. We got 70 something for the outing today, but I was out here last night past 2,400, so those will get added to today's totals. And the way to get out is right over there. You got to walk up the bluffs right there, and then it's about probably a half mile or less hike back to the car. Probably not quite a half mile. Low tide I think is at 3:45 today, so the tide's still going out. It's only about 1:30, 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. But like I said, this is my favorite place to go for doing parks on the air. See, 56 activations. Anyways, I'm gonna get packed up. So I'll say 7-3 from Estero Bluff State Park in California. Whiskey 6 Oscar Bravo Bravo, clear.